Good morning, lovely viewers. You are welcome to today's morning Spark Show. Today, we'll be discussing a very important issue which is key to the youth of Ghana. And we'll be discussing on promoting youth entrepreneurship for economic growth and job creation. To help us discuss this, we have a great personality with us today in the person of Mr. Riffath Yakub Abubakar, the Executive Chairman for National Academy of Students Achievement Awards Ghana, Nasaag. Welcome, Mr. Riffath.
Thank you. And thank you for having me, and good morning to you.
It's a pleasure. Please, can you help us to get a little bit information about you?
Okay, so as you rightly mentioned, my name is Riffath Yakub Abubakar. I'm the President and Executive Chairman for the National Academy of Students Achievement Awards Ghana. The title is just carry me away. I do not want to be carrying it along, but it sounds so big, and I mean, it comes with a huge responsibility. But that's just by the way. Um, I am a student and youth development activist. I am very, very keen about how do we position ourselves. What I mean by ourselves is the youth, especially starting from the student. Yes, prepare them for the future. All right, because we've all been to school before, and especially when you get to the senior high school, transitioning to the university, you think right after university or tertiary, there's job waiting for you. You are coming to work because we have been conscientized that we need to study very well, pass, and then we will get good job. All right. So this indirectly is harming us and has caused a lot of challenges in our employment issue because almost every student is thinking that once I pass, is somebody out there who is going to provide me job, forgetting that I am learning something to be useful such that I will create my own in case I don't get my expectation. All right. So that is who I am. I am really particular about the mistakes some of us were exposed to. We don't expose our younger ones to. So we have to let them know the reality before they are done with school. And I'm also an event person. I do corporate and educational events.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, based on what you just said, so what are some of the key benefits that the youth have to acquire from encouraging them into entrepreneurship?
I mean, the benefit is endless. But before you enjoy the benefit of everything, you have to pay the price. Now, we start by letting the student know their responsibility even as they are still students. And then beyond their responsibility, what is required of them and what is required of society. It is not always the case that you expect society to give you, but what are you giving in return to the society? And so we go to the schools, we collaborate with the schools from SHS to the tertiary, and then train the students on different areas or in different areas, if I should put it that way. If you take the job market, it's not single, it's not uniform, it's broad with different sectors. All right. So we prepare the students in these various sectors. So you can have business and entrepreneurship. And if you take the business and entrepreneurship, it's not just single. All right. You can go into business across all sectors. Away from that, we also prepare them on how to prepare themselves to land job right after school so that they don't become when they are done with school, they don't know how to even write proper CV, how to even prepare themselves for interview, how to even when they have secured a job, how they have to manage themselves, put themselves together to sustain the opportunity and advance on that opportunity. All right. So we prepare them in the area of entrepreneurship and business leadership. You should bear with me that leadership is the foundation of everything. All of these things that I've mentioned, if you fail your leadership prospect, then it means you're not going to advance to anywhere. And leadership is not always limited to the one that we've elected or voted for to sit there and make policies for us. It starts from you and I. As you sit here, you are facilitating your leadership role. If you don't do it well, then it means you have failed in your role as a leader. Even before your supervisor will walk in and say, you should have done it this way. After directing you, it is up to you to lead it in accordance with what the company is expecting you to do. All right. So how do you even succeed in your personal leadership before you can translate that into leading other people? And then career guidance. Until date, we are still experiencing that challenge. You would see some parents trying to push their child or their ward to study a particular course. They think it is good, but they are not looking at if it is good for the child or the child is okay with it. All right. So most of us have been misled to follow some career path. And today, there's more parents or adult people who are depressed because they are working, earning good salary, but their heart is not in for what they are doing. You must love what you are doing, not necessarily just limited to having passion for. You must love what you are doing. If you don't love what you are doing, it will give you the money, but it will also give you stress. And stress will accumulate and give you depression. Because like you're being forced to do what you are doing. And so how do we also, guide the students such that they pick the right career that is good for them or they think really resonate with their purpose in life? If you miss your purpose in life, it's a great trouble you find yourself in. And a lot of us have also lost our purpose in life, all because we really don't get proper education on our career guidance. And then we also have the internship program as well. Because when we train the students in these various that I've mentioned, we place them in various companies so that they can have their industrial attachment or internship to correspond with classroom training to on-field or on-job skill.
Okay. So based on the benefits that you have just said, after training the students, do they come back with challenges? And what are some of the challenges that they come back with? And how do you encourage them to curb such challenges?
All right. So challenge and difficulty never ends. Even when you think you have succeeded, you have reached your destination. If you don't pause and you keep going, you will still face challenges. So yes, there are times when students will come back with challenge that they have faced, and we know definitely they are going to face challenges. And so what we also entreat them is that not only in our event should they be coming, or in our training should they be coming, they should also make it a priority to be attending similar, events and training. And whenever they attend such, they have to continue to build relationship with other people who have exceeded or succeeded in other various of career and then their profession, so that these people can serve as their mentors. Okay, so if you come to our academy, we have our mentors there who double as our board of trustees. All right, so they are there to guide us, mentor us, so that we would also forward some of these guidance and then the mentorship to the younger ones. Yes, so it is not always the case that our doors are open. Whatever challenge, you should come to us, because we believe we are not the center of solution providers, but we will do our primary best. So we ensure that they also connect with mentors and other people that have succeeded in many areas, so that when they face challenges in their respective area, what they are practicing, they can reach out to that mentor for guidance and for assistance.
Okay. I'm also very interested in knowing about some of the success stories of your students, those that you have trained so far. If you can share some with us.
Oh, okay. even before I go outside of this building or studio, one of your, if I should put it, your bosses or supervisor, Apeti. Apeti is a product of Nasaag, that's National Academy of Students Achievement Awards Ghana. When he was in secondary school, he won the Best Student Entrepreneur. And so this is, if I don't know where he started, but for receiving the award, that alone is a foundation that he's doing something good and great. And so we've appreciated it, we've acknowledged it, and we are empowering him not to leave it there, but he should continue. All right. So that also gave him the opportunity to, network with like-minded elderly people who have succeeded in their distinctive career professions. All right. So having networked with them also gave him the opportunity to think wider. And if there's something he has to do, he has the people to consult to and to also what expand his dream. Away from that, he has been also trained in, I think, one or two of our training. All right. So this is one of the success story. And today, Samuel is very young and he's doing amazing stuff. Away from Sam, we also have one of our students who currently is working with a UK-based media house called Shihab TV. He won the National Student Journalist of the Year in the 2021 edition. And away from working with a UK-based media company, and he's being paid on weekly basis in pounds.
Wow.
All right. He's now also working with one of the top investigative firms in Ghana here, the Fourth Estate. And also have had the opportunity to also do, I think, an internship and working with Ghana News Agency as well. Okay. So, and last year, 2022, he was the West Africa Best Young Journalist for, I think, for peace or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that was a top recognition that he got as well. And then again, we are able to secure or give some academic scholarship to some of our students. So in most cases, those that received the awards were once a beneficiaries of our training. And in 2021, the young female student that won the National Student Entrepreneur, student of University of Ghana called Josephine Todika, she was part of our training that Samuel Apeti was also part of. Fast forward, she started her own business whilst in school and she won. And when she won, through Nasaag, we recommended her or we led her to some other opportunities. And as we speak today, she has her own motorbike that she used to run her business and to grow the business. She has had the opportunity to also receive some small funding from international organizations and local ones and continue to receive training and capacity building just to expand some of the her area of business. So we also supported last year the student entrepreneur and a cash amount to also support her startup. And I mentioned scholarship as well. Very good.
Okay. I can actually testify about Samuel Apeti's case. I've worked under him since secondary school when he started his businesses, so I can testify to that one. So based on the success stories that you have just given us, how does the government and the civil organizations come into play when it comes to entrepreneurship for the youth?
When you mention government, you see, I've taken you a deep breath. Entrepreneurship is a very, very difficult enterprise, all right? And to succeed in your entrepreneurial journey is not just limited to you alone. So many factors must come into play before you can succeed. Some of these factors include your immediate circle. Beyond your immediate circle, systems put in place by the state, that is the government. And then through the system put in place by the government would ensure whether NGOs or some organizations can also come to play. But we have to commend some of these organizations. They are really in support and are really, really supporting young people, most of young people in Ghana, to flourish in their entrepreneurial journey. But one would expect that the government of the day or past governments would have initiated and established a very friendly environment, feasible environment that will cushion young entrepreneurs to prosper. Right? It's very difficult. Young person, you start your business, you are even struggling to maintain your capital, and you've not even started making profit yet. Every year or every now and then you're expected to pay tax, and which is fine. We need tax to develop the country.
Yes.
All right. But in the case where the young entrepreneur is not really enjoying facilities that would have made the journey a bit easier for him or her, yet this one continues to pay tax. Away from the taxes, there's always an increment of raw materials, increment of services that you would even need to run your business. If I should mention utility bills, keeps increasing. How much is a young person earning to catch up with this increment of stuff and also continue to pay taxes here and there? And then again, regulators are also a bit of the challenge, all right? If there would be some discussion around it, how do regulators, so if you pick the Registrar General Department, they are responsible for registering young people's business, all right? And then you take the GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority. If there could be a sort of policy such that if the young person starts a business, in the first year, second year, third year, can they enjoy or can they exempt from paying tax so that they can have an enjoyable and flexible space to operate? And when they are able to succeed in their third, fourth year, we can begin to tax them. Now, if you take Ghana Registrar General Department, when you have registered your business, whether you are operating the business or you are not operating the business, every year you have to go and renew. And it comes with a pay, though not expensive, but it comes with a pay. All right. So these are some of the things. It's like we don't really pay attention to, is the young person flourishing? Are they improving? All that we care is they have to come and pay their responsibilities, that is the tax here and there. But instead of looking at whether they are flourishing or not. Because mind you, if the young people really prosper in their entrepreneurship, it creates job. If some can employ one person, he has taken one burden from the government or the state. If I can employ two, I've taken two burdens from the state. But if the system is not there to give me that flexibility to be able to help government, it means we all have to put our tools down and say we are looking forward from government to give us job. That is not helpful. It would breed crime, social immoralities here and there. So I think this is what I would say about
All right.
the government input and then the NGOs.
So if I get you right, you are advocating for government to not tax young entrepreneurs, but then until they start flourishing in their business before they can be taxed.
Yes, it's a core, it's a play, but there must be a look into it. How do we do it? How do we track it? So that is why system must be put in place. I mentioned that most NGOs are really doing very well. They have hubs, they have centers, they have agencies where they bring in or they allow some of the young people to come and have training, capacity training, and after they help them with some funds to grow their businesses. And they keep track of these young people such that whatever support is given to them is properly used to the benefit of the business growth, and also to also being able to employ other people. If the government is able to do similar initiative, it will track the young one who started a business in year 1 to year 2 to year 3. And because they have the track record, they can also follow up to the growth of the business. And when it is time, or the young business is ready to pay tax, the government can know. Well, if you're supporting somebody, then it means you can't let the person go like that. If you are investing in someone right now, you'd ensure that your investment is useful. And so it's just a system the government can put in place. From the start, you might think it's free because you're not paying tax. But when your business grows, you will pay taxes. And it still goes to the development of the country.
Okay. So, what are some of the critical skills that aspiring young entrepreneurs must have in order to be successful in today's competitive business sector?
Currently, or contemporary, every entrepreneur should prioritize networking, having the skill to network. 2, having the skill to partner. The network is when you know me, I know you, will build relationship. Partnership is business. So after we've known each other, how do we synergize our ideas? How do we synergize our resources for the benefit of the two of us and our third party or stakeholders? So networking and then partnership. 2, young entrepreneurs should also leverage what I call the word is not coming, but let me put it in general perspective. How you communicate. How you communicate. Because you can have the brilliant idea you want to put across, but to whom you are putting the information to, if you don't communicate it well, they are not easily buying into your idea. And even if you have started implementing your idea, you still have to make the communication more understandable, because the market is very competitive. People will not have the time to be chasing you to understand what exactly you're putting out there. They should be able to have a certain level of understanding of what you are putting out there before, if they would like to do a follow-up, to have an understanding better. But your communication should be very, very simple, concise to the people. But how do you do that? You must understand what you're really into. If you don't understand what you are into, then the people you're doing it for will not understand you. I keep saying that in this contemporary world, there's nothing new one is introducing. Everything you bring out today, you are just coming to add up to what is already there. And so if you're coming to add up, then you have to add up such that the market will be convinced that what you have brought is better than what is already in the market. But if you bring what is equal already in the market, then you're shooting yourself. Or if you bring what is below what is already in the market, you've shot yourself completely down. All right. So that is why the communication is very, very important. How do you communicate well to sell your product? And apart from these 3 things I've mentioned, the communication, the networking, the partnership, it's very, very important to always add capacity to what you know. Because day in, day out, there's a new trend. The new trend does not necessarily mean it should influence the original idea, but it should have a certain level of reshaping your idea so that you would be relevant every day comes by. Otherwise, if you don't update yourself by adding capacity to yourself, a time would come you won't continue to be relevant. So we must always, and that will inform us to study the market all the time. When you keep studying the market all the time, the market will inform you which direction you should take slightly so that you will still be relevant in the market.
All right. Um, Within your second submission,
Yeah.
you were talking about creating opportunities. So in the job creation sector, which of the industries do you think promising young entrepreneurs will be able to flourish, have potential of flourishing in such sectors?
Now we live in a hybrid economy, traditional economy and digital economy. The traditional economy is one that don't really have much to do with the digital economy or technology. And so with the advent of technology and the digital space, now it has been able to penetrate in all the traditional economy. Farming, now you see technology in. Barbering, you see technology in. Even in the market selling, you see technology in.
Yes.
So all the traditional, when I mentioned barbering, don't forget, even before the machine came, we were using our hands with comb and then the blade.
Yes.
Now the machine is there. You just barber yourself in the space of 25 minutes, you're done. You go. And so every aspect of the sector is potential to create job. It is dependent on the young person to see which of the sectors that they can really operate. Passion, I mentioned, is very, very important.
Okay.
But if you cannot monetize the passion such that it would grow for you to start employing or creating job, then hold on to your passion. Find something else you can do that can lead you to create the job. Okay. So for instance, you guys are into the media space. All right. You look forward to expand.
Yes.
In the course of expanding, you look forward to employ more to catch up with your expansion. So you don't have to limit yourself to do what you think is okay for you. You have to avail yourself to do what will lead you to expand. And that will force you to get to know what are my competitors doing? What am I doing? If you get to know what competitors are doing, you'll get to know what you have to add up so that you get the attention of the audience, you get the attention of your viewers, you get the attention of your followers. The more audience, the more followers, the more patronage you get would also yield or would also increase your income. But you have to ensure that there's always a business component in whatever new idea you want to implement. And so for job creation, it's not just limited to one sector. It is dependent on how you strategize yourself, how you keep adding value and training to yourself, how you study the market, and you want to go by the new trend. Yeah, you can continue to create job.
Okay. So after creating these jobs, how does mentorship and then education play a critical role in helping the young entrepreneur to uplift his or her spirit to continue?
As for mentorship, it can never cease, it can never end, and it's very, very, very important. Very important, and one of the components that every young entrepreneur must get. Now, the reason is that entrepreneurship is full of mistakes and setbacks because it's a journey unknown, but you have visualized it that this is where you want to reach. But as to the challenges you are going to meet today, the next minute, you don't know. But you think you've put your plans in place. All right. But the plans put in place, because you don't know what is ahead of you, can just take away the plan. And where do you find your feet again? you are lost. So if you get mentor, or when there's mentorship, mentors are there to guide us, anticipate, and know the possibilities of challenges that we never thought it would happen, because they have passed through the journey. And so per every plan, every strategy you take, when they look at it, they know where it would result to, because they passed through it. And so mentorship is key, because the duration it would have taken the young man to reach a certain destination, it would reduce through the mentor. Because if it took your mentor 15 years to reach where they are, they can let you reach there in a space of half of the 15. Because you will tend to reduce the mistakes they did. Some of the mistakes you do is hardly to bounce back. But because they have overcome it, you don't repeat that again. And even if you repeat it, it's minimal, so that you can rise up again. So for mentorship, it's very, very key. It's very, 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 very key. If we have had the system I was advocating that government should put in place, mentorship would have been one of the key components there. Apart from you getting some of these policy of tax exemption, funding, support, you can have all the funding you need to invest into your business. But if you don't have the mentorship, you can lose everything. Because I mentioned that you don't even know what your plan is going to crash tomorrow. You don't know. You think you are doing some investment. You think you're putting your money into the business for it to grow. But you don't know is you are just going to crash your investment. So the mentor is there to guide you. So it is always not the case of you need money to push. You just need the ideas and guidance to push. You just need it. There are certain things you think, if I don't have the money, I can't continue. But then when the mentor is there, they just give you the words and the guidance, and you realize that, come on, you would have wasted your money. All right. So mentorship is very, very key. That is why our colleagues in the advanced country, you will see a very young person at either your age or my age. They are doing extremely better than, admit me to say, than us. Not because they are more intelligent than us, but they have the resources, they have the environment that really give them flexibility to operate. But you and I are not having it. And so we are limited. We are limited. Okay. And so that mentorship and guidance they enjoy there, underpinned by the system that is put in place there, is making them flourishing faster than we do. So for mentorship is very, very key.
All right. You made mention of funding. Yeah. So how, for every business to start, you must have a capital. So how can funding be made accessible for young entrepreneurs to be able to start up their businesses?
I still believe in one starting a business without necessarily putting in so much, startup capital. Because I am an example. I didn't have money sitting in my bank accounts before I started my event company. I didn't. All right. So I always say, if one will not believe me, at the time when I started my event company, I was still in school, in the university. You can go there, you can go to my bank. If you want to know the bank, I can mention, but not on the channel, because it's like I'm marketing the bank. But if you want to know from me, I'll just mention. You can go to them, then find out when I started my business, how much money did I have in the accounts. You get to know absolutely nothing in the accounts. I was a student. I was relying on my parents for pocket money and to feed. But I did start a business, and through that, we came out with Nasaag as well, National Academy of Students Achievement Awards, Ghana. And we started Nasaag again, not because we had money sitting there. All right. So Funding is very key for business success, but without it too, you can start it somewhere. Starting from somewhere without a funding would delay you a bit, but eventually you would reach. But then when the funding is there and then you also get the right environment, you go very faster. Okay. So how does funding come in? Investors or yes, investors would only come to invest in your business when they see the profit potentials in the business. So whatever business as young people we want to bring out, we should be very particular about the sustainability of the business, the generational relevance of the business, and the profitability of the business. Otherwise, it's very difficult for investors to come in because investment is also part of business. They want to put their money into you because you don't have it. Use their money to run the business and they also get their percentage out of it. But in the case where they realize that the business seems not viable, seems not generational sustainable, then they will be scared to put their money in. And so we have to be very, very particular about our business. And this is not to say your idea or your business is not important. It is. But how do you convince me or your possible investor to believe that it is sustainable, it is profitability? That is your case, not me, my case. And so we have to take our time. And so that is why I said we always have to update ourselves by studying the market. Because if you don't continue to study the market, you'll be kicked away. You would be kicked away. So it's either you are bringing what is below the standard of the market, or what is equal to the standard of the market, or what is more than the standard of the market. But either equal, fine. If you're below, then I would advise you have to go back to your planning table. If it's equal, you can continue, but still go back to the table so that you can go above the market standard. But then if yours is above the market standard, then people will run to you.
Okay. Yeah, so after making your first profit out of your business as a young entrepreneur, most at times we tend to spend that profit. So, what
Sure.
advice do you have for young people?
And I like this very question because I have always loved to share it with my colleagues and the young ones. You see, a young entrepreneur, you don't live a life like somebody earning a monthly salary. Because the person living on monthly salary always know that at the end of the month, either they finish everything from the previous month, they are still going to get another money. So whenever they sleep and wake up, they know at the end of the month they are going to get this amount of money. But you, the young entrepreneur, you only project based on your plan that if your plan goes through, this is how much you're going to get. But what if you don't get? Now, assuming you've gotten it, business grows on investment, reinvestment. So you get your profit, you spend it because maybe you want to go and sit in this expensive restaurant, or you've seen your friend who earns a monthly salary sit in that restaurant, or you've seen that your friend who earns monthly salary rent a very nice apartment. And like I said, you don't live a life as if you are on a monthly salary. You have to live within your means and ensure that more of the profit goes back into the business. So I have this personal analysis that if I have started a business today, I give myself, let's say, 5 years. From the first year to the 5th year, I may not be making reasonable profits. Every small profit I make would go back into the business. So By the fourth year, fifth year, even if you go back to my account, you won't see up to 5,000 because every money go back into the business. So if you pick the business, you know the business is heavy because a lot of investment is gone in, but there's no money sitting there. However, if you pick my friend who is on monthly salary, put their monthly salary together from year 1 to year 4 to 5, you would realize that they have about 50,000 sitting in their accounts. All right. It's just an assumption because every salary you earn at the end of the month, there is expenditure.
Yeah, yeah.
But you, let's say, out of all the expenditure, the surplus stayed for 4 5 years, they have about 50,000. So in the space of 5 years, that your friend is able to make about 50,000 savings, right? But in the space of you, the young one, because you started your business 4 5 years, you don't even up to 5,000. But once the business grew and get to 8 feet, 1 month or 2 months of your profit would be like 20 years of your friend who is earning a monthly salary. All right.
Yeah.
So that is how we should understand it. In the first phase or the few years of our business, let's not live our life like the person earning monthly salary. All right. Because if I am paying you at the end of the month, when the month is about to due, I'll be thinking, how much profit did the business make? Whether we make profit or we run loss, I still have to pay you. But you are relaxing because you know at the end of the month I have to pay you. But if I pay and you live a luxurious lifestyle and I want to live the same, then I can't even pay you because I'll end up using the money to live a lavish lifestyle. And so for profit, my mentors always advise, and that is what I'm learning from, and also from the ground experience. You have to reinvest. You have to reinvest. You have to reinvest to the point when the business can now look after itself. To the point when after it's looking after itself, you also have your monthly pay. Your staff have their monthly pay. Until that, don't live a life like somebody who earns a monthly salary. You cannot be the same. And when the success comes, you can also live a life they cannot live like you. I believe you get a difference.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We're almost getting to the end of the show. What are your final advice for young entrepreneurs?
My advice to young entrepreneurs is that they should, apart from their paying attention to their focus, ensuring they succeed, there's what is called social currency or social relationship. They should prioritize building relationship with people and making those relationships more profitable. If I come to make you my friend, a business friend, I have to ask myself, how do I make this friendship relevant? It means I have to do something that would interest you, benefit you. In return, you have to do something that will benefit and interest me. Because now, to really succeed in the space of business and entrepreneurship, relationship count. If I want a service and I reach you, you will not just tell me, oh, go to the market, you're going to get somebody to provide you. If you have somebody in mind who can provide me with that service, I don't need to go to the market to look at different types of the service provider. You just recommend the person to me. Why did you recommend the person to me? Because you have a relationship with the person that is beneficial. Okay. So now a lot of businesses are growing apart from they doing their strategic marketing plan, bringing out quality products and services. Apart from that, relationship count. You can get a contract not because your product was seen outside very good overall, but because of relationship you have with other people. And so young people must prioritize networking and ensuring that that networking is beneficial, is protected, is well managed. I have enjoyed countless blessings from proper networking and how I have managed it. I've enjoyed a lot. Some things that I would have spent money on, I don't. I don't. I'll get it either for free or at a very discounted because of relationship. All right. So that is why I say some of the things you might think you need money to do it. But when you get the right people, you realize you don't need money to do it. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Before we wrap up, I just wanted to, most young people would like to join the academy. So those who have interest in joining, how can they join?
If you're a student and you want to join, you are warmly welcome. But you cannot just be a member when we have not accredited you. And so we have what we call our student representatives. That's campus ambassadors or faculty of ambassadors. So we have them across the universities or tertiary levels.
Okay.
So every year we open the application for interested volunteers to apply to become ambassadors representing their school and also representing us in their school.
Okay.
And if you become an ambassador, there are benefits. If you go to our website, www.nasaag.com, and then you go to About Us, you go down, you will see ambassadors. We have series of training topics that we give our ambassadors. And away from that, if you are good at something, we can also recommend you, be the reason for you to, expand or grow your whatever skill that you have. Yeah. So, but then if you are not a student, you are either a graduate or maybe an old elderly person out there who wants to support. You can be part of our patrons. You can be part of our partners that support the young ones, not necessarily in cash support, but mentorship, training, and the like. And then if you think there's a project or a program that an enterprise that a student is embarking on, you want to support, there is there. Other than that, these are the difference. But then if you want to be part, if you're not a student, be part to be a trainer is a voluntary. It's a voluntary. Normal. I want to ensure that the message go out there doesn't reach people thinking that when they are coming, they are also coming to make money. We are just there to support the young ones, particularly the students, because we cannot wait for students to graduate from the school before they think of doing what they were supposed to do even when they were in school. So they have to know what they need to know in school before they complete. So whatever preparation we need to put them through, we have to do. So it's open for everyone, but you must first register, become an ambassador, or you also get to, as if you're not a student, then you can be part of our patrons to, support and train our students.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Riffath Yakub Abubakar, the Executive Director for Nasaag. It's been a great discussion. I have learned a lot. I hope you have also learned a lot. I've been your host, Inus Abdelatif. Goodbye.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
I spoke well anyway.
Yes, please. You did well.